Now, when I was googling you, Steve, you advised punters to read local regional papers for up-to-date reports on their local teams. Now, there must be an absolute mountain of information out there that you need to sift through as well. So, do you employ people just to trawl the internets and read up the local Cleveland rag and that sort of thing?
Not just to do that, but we all on the team here certainly do our share of trawling through. But I guess it's for your own benefit too. I mean, we're all punters here too, and any sort of edge you can get, that's where you get it from. So what helps your personal betting helps the business.
So is it like a nationwide spy ring you've got out in America with each team having a mole that gives you the bell when there's something happens?
Not quite all of them, but there's a few, and you know, people move on and stuff. So it's not as quite a big a network as it used to be. But and I actually just recently got cut off from a couple of teams. So when they found out what I did.
Now, you don't just specialise, well, you specialise in NFL, but you also take bets on all sorts of other American sports, baseball, basketball, etc.
Yeah.
Is there a lower sort of league level that you'll go to? If somebody rings you up and wants a fairly obscure sort of match priced up, do you price up? Would you have priced those matches up anyway, or would you price it up on request?
Well, we cover all the major leagues, so the NBA, the NHL, and Major League Baseball. So we'll cover all those matches. I suppose in college sports there'll be some lower level colleges that we won't bet on, but we cover most of them. We even have minor league baseball. So yeah, I think most things are covered, and yeah, if it's not, then the request a bet service will do its best.
So where do you start when pricing up these more obscure markets where you've got, I assume, relatively little information?
Yeah, those are the fun ones. It goes back to old school, more feel pricing, which I enjoy. But obviously it's a lot less accuracy in those, but that's what it comes down to: research, looking at statistics, and coming up with more of a feel price.
And is there a defence mechanism if somebody opens an account and then suddenly wants one of those bets up to a large amount?
Yes. We probably wouldn't accommodate something obscure in a large amount for someone's first bet.
So where do you start when you start forming these more complicated markets, the handicaps, etc.? What is there, like a point zero where you start sort of working out from?
Well, obviously there is a line out there. So there's a Vegas line, as it's known, which is a base. We don't use it as a base, but it's certainly a guide for when we come up with our prices. We can see how different we are, and then it's a case of deciding how much of an edge we have depending on where we put it outside of the Vegas line. So we can't necessarily just, if we make the line 9 when the line is 7, we're not necessarily going to put a line of 9 up, but we want to find a nice balance where we will attract the money without actually jeopardizing the value that we're getting.
Do you sort of effectively hedge as a firm in advance? If you see somebody's priced up and you think, well, you're wrong there, would you sort of fill in another bookmaker?
Not necessarily. There is a prop trading element to the company that might take advantage of something like that, but it's not something that would go into the actual trading side of things.
Okay, from a personal point of view, you specialised in spread betting in your early years. Is that still a medium that you look at to get on?
No, not at all. It's there's only 2 spread betting firms really, and I can't really bet with the company I worked for 23 years. And the other one, well, they don't seem to want to take my bets anyway. So it's not something I look at. One of the biggest frustrations as a punter for me is putting a lot of work into markets, whether they're more obscure markets or whether the mainstream markets, and then finding there's a lot more work trying to get the bet on, and then ultimately failing to get the bet on and having wasted all that time. So with spread betting, it falls into that category. I don't bother.
Are there other specialist firms in the UK or abroad that you can get on with that sort of are interested in taking you on?
Yeah, actually, American sports we're quite lucky with, because there is liquidity out there, and there are places outside of the UK that will take decent bets on American sports. On the core markets, it's a lot harder to get any bets on to win a division or to win the Super Bowl or even a first touchdown scorer, but for the core markets, for handicaps and total points and money lines, there's generally enough of a market out there to get on.
And what would be your favourite market to bet on personally?
Well, the favourite one is touchdown scorer markets. I think it's something that's not priced up accurately enough. Obviously, a handicap line on a game is never going to be too far wrong, but touchdown scorer markets, you can get a much bigger edge in if you can get a bet on.
And is there a market that, as a bookmaker, you have to offer because everybody else does, but you wish you didn't have to? The Achilles heel we're looking for.
Teasers. Teasers are a great thing. They're an American thing, but there are certain scenarios where a teaser is betting to the wrong side of the percentage for a bookmaker.
Okay, now you've made your livelihood has been betting and taking bets on the NFL. Are you like a huge fan? Would you turn up with your scarf and your jersey and go and watch a match somewhere? Put yourself out to go and see it just for pleasure?
Absolutely. I'm hugely passionate about American football. I love the sport. I've loved it all my life. I've made it my life, and yeah, I watch it as much as I can.
And who's your team?
Absolutely no team, no emotion in gambling.
So, finally, what is the best advice you'd give to somebody who loves NFL purely as a fan, and they want to start putting their knowledge to good work to try and win a few quid off of you? What would you tell them to start studying or to pay special attention to? I'm very much a fundamentals guy. I believe in studying the matchups. Each one-on-one matchup in a game, every player on the team has a role to play on every single play during an American football game. And my advice would be to study those matchups to see which team has an edge in each individual matchup, and combining that to find the right price for that team to win. It's hard work, and it's delving deep, but that's the best way, in my opinion. When they come to their own opinion, they give you a ring on Red Zone?
Absolutely.
Brilliant. Steve Baumohl, thank you very much indeed.
Thank you.